It's a big week ahead for Black Ops 4. Might not necessarily be as big as next week because, of course, you'll see why with a new operation kicking off like we'll talk about in this video, but we have a lot of things to actually look out for, which to me is a pleasant turnaround from where the past couple of weeks have been. We're going to take a look at 12 things in Black Ops 4 this week to look out for that hopefully should pique your interest and get you ready for the upcoming event on PlayStation 4 and Xbox One and PC a week to follow after that. But of these 13 things, a lot of them are actually pretty major. So of course, we're going to break it all down here in this video, but maybe consider hitting that subscribe button as well so you can stay up to date with all things for this build up and the information that will be coming. It's not a matter of if, but when, and of course, all the breakdowns and content showcases to follow with next week's new operation launch. And with 65% of viewers not being subscribed, I want to make sure that you guys, if you're interested, you're not missing out when we're approaching what is the biggest update in months for Black Ops 4. But that reminder out of the way, let's just jump right into it. The first thing is that this is the final week for Operation Grand Heist, or at least on the PlayStation 4 end. Xbox One and PC, again, because they're a week delayed, will have 2 weeks left up on deck, but still doesn't mean that if you're on those platforms, you can't consider this kind of stuff. That means that the Contraband stream is going to be going away, so the last call for the Cha-Ching Melee, the Rampage Shotgun, and the Switchblade X9 weapons, as well as the things like Outrider, who's not going to be available after this operation closes, as we know by how Zero was handled at the end of Absolute Zero. Things like the APB and the Strip Reactive camos, your Mastercraft of the ZX7000 for the Augur DMR, things like your Warden Blackout skin and other uniforms, those will all be going away as of next Tuesday at 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time for PlayStation 4 users, and again a week later to follow on Xbox One and PC. To my knowledge, outside of perhaps the Mark II variants that will be added in later on down the line probably, I don't think that any of the in-tier items will be returning at all. We haven't seen any of the cosmetics outside of the returning signature Mark II weapons from First Strike coming back at all during the year, so these sort of cosmetics, I wouldn't get my hopes up for maybe finding them later on down the line, or at least not yet. But that also means that if you have any of the items that you wanted from Blackjack's shop, those will actually refresh out and not be there come next Tuesday on PlayStation 4. So if you wanted that Cordite Mastercraft, that Party Rock camo, that Death Reel camo, that Enforcer Mastercraft, and so on and so forth, if you had any consideration of getting those, they won't be there as of next week. So that's something that you definitely want to take into consideration as we round down to the final moments of Grand Heist. But with that said, and now moving over into what we can look out for to the future of Black Ops 4 and what will be revealed during the week, with Operation Grand Heist winding down and also Op 4 looming on the horizon as of next week, let me know in the comments down below what is one thing that you want to see added in or changed for Operation 4. Love to pick your brain on that one. Outside of that, though, this is now going to be dubbed Teaser Week, or at least I'm going to be calling that. We have a bunch of teasers starting to go live for Op 4 and a bunch of different stuff you'll be able to see, probably on a 1 per day basis. That's what we've seen at least so far in previous marketing for other events. Grand Heist started that Monday, 8 days before the launch of the operation. Same thing goes for Absolute Zero. One curious part, though, to me is that we actually didn't see one today, or at least as of the time of recording this, we didn't, in which our recent discussion of the only pattern that is continual right now is patterns being broken, that 8-day out window didn't actually start the operations teaser. So I'm assuming this is going to start as of tomorrow, but still no less curious that it didn't start today, especially with probably a lot of content on deck that they could tease, especially with 3 maps, which we'll talk about in just a second. But the first one we'll talk about deals with potentially a new specialist. We've seen a new specialist coming with each and every operation outside of First Strike because, well, that was tethered with the actual launch of the game. But we saw Zero with Operation Absolute Zero, we saw Outrider with Operation Grand Heist, and presumably we're going to be seeing Spectre, though of course we won't know until a little bit later with the next operation, though all points seemingly do go towards that specialist. The comic mentions it, the frequency map teasers, which have accurately previewed the first 2 specialists and now only have Spectre remaining, point to it. The recent voiceover lines from Zero that indicate not only Spectre but also Reaper and MP point to it, and finally the most recent reveals of the smoke grenade through a glitched out bare bones reference has pointed to it as well. So we may be seeing Spectre coming as of this upcoming week, and we did see that Outrider got a little bit of a teaser towards the end of the week in the Grand Heist promotional material. I think that actually came on the Friday before, but no doubt keep an eye out for a new specialist tease at some point during the week. Then we end up seeing that we'll have possibly a new Blackout POI to look forward to. That was the first teaser that we got with Grand Heist, so I'm assuming it might follow similarly here within the next operation teasers at some point during the week, whether that be tomorrow, later today after this video maybe even goes live, or after I commentate it. But we've seen one in the west, we've seen one in the south, so now maybe it's time to look forward to something coming on the east or the north of the current main Blackout map. I'd imagine that we end up still getting a new POI because Alcatraz ended up being its own separate map. A lot of people, including myself, were full on believing that we'd end up seeing a new POI POI added in as Alcatraz at the halfway point of Operation Grand Heist, because we saw that teaser at the end of the Operation launch trailer that showcased the map shrouded in darkness and also the quick scene of Alcatraz, but we never did. So the later launch of Alcatraz never really meshed with a launch pattern of a new POI in the original Blackout map per operation, so it seems like that will still be on brand and something that we see launching next Tuesday, but definitely I'd be on the lookout for a teaser for that. Additionally, new map teasers are probably going to be coming as well. We saw that we had teasers for Lockup and Casino, and with 3 maps coming within the Black Ops past this operation, not just 2, it's possible this fills out some of the days of promotion, and that's kind of why I'm curious why we didn't get one today, because if you think about it, there's still a decent amount of stuff you can preview, and with one more added in on top of that, it's kind of curious we didn't at least see some sort of teaser. But no less, probably a tweet or a quick little video of these 3, either all in one go or 3 different days. And finally, for teasers, I would definitely expect something for zombies. We still, of course, have the Dead of the Night Gauntlet yet to come. That's probably launching with the next operation at this point. And as we'll talk about, there's also the zombies factions as well that will be coming with Operation 4, so we know. Now, as for where to find these, primarily on the Twitters of Treyarch, Call of Duty, and PlayStation. And if you're choosing to give those a follow while you're there, maybe toss me a follow on Twitter as well. But more than likely, these will be found on their Twitter pages around 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, maybe 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. We saw that there was one posted at that time with the last operation, but that's probably your hub to see them in real time if you guys want to check those out. Outside of that, talking the next operation here, I would expect maybe a trailer or a blog post later in the week. We ended up seeing this happen with Absolute Zero, in which this actually previewed a ton of the content to come during that time. Not so much with Grand Heist. That trailer only launched then on the day that it actually went live, but it is still possible, especially with almost no communication from Treyarch as of recently, that they kind of come back and say, hey, here's everything that's happening, get ready for it because it's gonna be big. We don't know if that will, but I'm hoping that's the case. Jumping back down to some things that don't necessarily deal with the next operation, but are going to be happening to fill you in before we start getting into the things that, to me, are kind of some question marks. Let's talk about the shop refreshes, because we still have yet to see the MX9 featured as an item there. We saw that in the game files a few weeks back at this point when data mined, so I'd expect the MX9 Patriot bundle to make its way back into the shop as of tomorrow at 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, just like how we saw the Great Lion SOG bundle. Probably it's going to be for a comparable price point of about $10 as that one was listed when it was introduced, but additionally we still have yet to see the GKS Mark II bundle coming in the way of the shop. We saw the ICR kick this off a week and a half ago, and then this past weekend we saw the Titan bundle in there, and truth be told, I think the correction to the pricing was better. Less bundles of the crates and more of just the regular content that players want to see. So here's the hoping the GKS bundle is that same price point of $10, or hey, if you want to take out the bundles of the crates and just give the camos, maybe even a lesser price point. That'd be awesome. I'd be all for that. But also, we shouldn't really have any special order left for this operation, so that theory of Misty coming as a special order that we've mentioned before, and we'll reference again here in just a second, I'm not necessarily getting my hopes up, which is kind of unfortunate. But this will be the last shop refresh that we know of for Operation Grand Heist, so keep your eyes open for that and anything that may come along with it if you're looking forward to any of those things. As for playlist refreshes, well, Deathmatch Domination is going to make its way over to Xbox One and PC. You guys will be able to experience that. Again, it's just Domination, but with an up score limit, and also kills counting towards your score as well. So it's certainly fun, it's a good time, and especially as time progressed and winded down, I found a lot more, if you want to call them noob lobbies, where I got to absolutely just run through the enemy team. So it might be sweaty at the very beginning, but then if you give it some time, it should clear up and you should have better matchmaking as a result. As for another playlist introduced maybe on PlayStation 4 at this point, maybe Prop Hunt. We have not seen that just yet. It's, of course, the last week of Operation Grand Heist, and this was something that was listed from the very beginning on that roadmap that Treyarch detailed at the very beginning of the operation. So here's to maybe seeing that happen tomorrow, but as of recording this, that's not confirmed. As for the question marks, the things that we don't know of, but may very well happen, or we just actually have absolutely no idea what's going on. Let's start out with the biggest one here, because this is quite literally the last time that I will propose this, but where in the world are the Vendetta Sniper Rifle as well as Misty? Misty we saw previewed as an available from Special Orders character at the very beginning of Grand Heist. She was literally in the game viewable from day one of Operation Grand Heist in the Blackout selection menu for characters when the operation first launched, then a day or two later was removed, and we've now only seen in progressive updated game files visible via the back end on the PC version of the game. The Vendetta Sniper, well, I went back and was curious to see when our first introduction of this was as well, and it was in the game since the very beginning also, or at least some of it. The video files for the preview footage, like how you end up seeing the preview of the Mastercrafts or the weaponry and the contraband stream, that was in there for the new sniper rifle as of the PC update, predating the event on PC itself. It was there from the first week of the PlayStation 4 launch and the initial builds of Grand Heist, which is absolutely wild to me because we still have not seen it. And the unfortunate part to me is that the longer that we wait, the more feeling I have we're going to get this in a bundle, because I'm fairly certain that legally they cannot showcase and preview these items in the marketing and promotional material in Grand Heist is coming and then not deliver on it. So unless tomorrow brings a real short and sweet mini stream, I think it might be coming as a replacer style bundle, which will prompt, rightfully so, some pitchforks to come out, and I don't get those choices as to why at all. There's so many different opportunities for them to be added in. Things like this were added in the way of seasonal events, and we had Shamrock and all and Easter pass by. The pattern of the mini stream also being added in 4 weeks out of the operation ending, well, that didn't happen, and so therefore it just chose to forego all of those previously established patterns. But I digress. I don't know where they're gonna be or when they may be coming, but maybe keep an eye out. But next up on deck is factions for zombies. First things out of the way, I'll be totally honest with you. I have not kept up with the rumors about this or anything like that, so I could be off on my information here ever so slightly, but it is something that is going to be coming, stated by Treyarch a couple of weeks ago, maybe about a month or so back at this point. But factions look to introduce another dimension to the zombie storyline and will have the ability to follow the factions of Bloodfaith, Tempest Novi, Dustborn, or the First Legion. This supposedly will be coming also with a different challenge series that goes along with it to further reward zombies players, so hopefully that brings some cool things as well. But it's something that was promised since literally the reveal event almost an entire year ago at this point, to which we haven't seen anything in Black Ops 4 just yet. With Treyarch's mention saying this was coming in Operation 4, definitely looking forward to seeing if there's going to be any teasers here for that for the zombies fans. Another big question mark that we did mention quickly in reference yesterday was that of possibly a new weapon tuning pass. This may go live on next Monday or maybe next Tuesday if it comes at all during this upcoming 1.17 update, to which we end up seeing there's the possibility that again it goes live earlier like we saw with Operation Absolute Zero. We ended up getting things on a more technical aspect added into the game, and then the contents like Hijacked and Blackout, the new maps and the new contraband stream being added in on that Tuesday of the actual launch. So it may happen again here at this one, but keep your eyes open for that. And also, maybe, just maybe, a 2x tier progression weekend. We saw one happen within Grand Heist already, so who's to say it doesn't happen again to help kind of be that coup de grace or last chance event within Black Ops 4 this weekend, so that players that maybe don't have tier 100 yet can make that last second push towards it, or so that you can end up starting to stockpile your cases a little further so you can jump into Operation 4 a little well off. I'm hoping that comes, but again, there's no guarantee on that. But that is the 12 things to look out for in Black Ops 4 this week. So let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Is there anything in particular you're really looking forward to? Maybe not so much. Whatever it is, feel free to let me know your thoughts. But hopefully you enjoyed the video. If you did, make sure you drop a like down below. And of course, if you are new to the channel, make sure you guys subscribe so you don't miss a single thing regarding all things Black Ops 4, MP, Blackout, Zombies. We got you covered with all that. So if any of that interests you, and of course to stay up to date with all things Operation 4, hit the subscribe button so you don't miss a single thing. You guys also want to follow me over on Twitter and Instagram. There's the best place to get connected outside of YouTube. Practically live on both those. If you guys want to share up a conversation, ask me a question, whatever it may be, that link is down there in the description below. Well, that's it now. Thank you guys all so much for watching. My name is Espresso. I'll see you guys later. Take care and peace.